I think we're going to be seeing a lot more teenagers like Lamine Yamal bursting onto the scene in the next couple of years. Now, a lot of people are talking about Max Dalman's performance against Newcastle during pre-season, and I will give it to Arsenal fans. You told us, and now we are listening. He's great. Now, a lot of people are talking about the penalty he won, receives the ball here on the wing, bypasses his man, cuts inside and continues his run into the penalty box and eventually gets pulled down, and yes, penalty to Arsenal. But this was very consistent throughout his 30-minute cameo. This was actually my favourite action from him throughout the entire time he was on the pitch. So he receives the ball here, and he is just hurtling that ball through the midfield. He carries it forward, his eyes stuck on the goal, tries to cut inside and takes the shot, which goes just wide. And I think what I really liked about his performance against Newcastle, and I'm starting to like about this player in particular, is just how direct he is. It's a trait I think most superstar attackers have. They are just very direct. By all means, they want to get to the goal, whether that's using their acceleration, their pace, dribbling past 2, 3, 4 players. They just want to get the ball to go. And goal, apologies. And I see that in him. But back to my original point, I do think we're going to be seeing more and more teenagers like this burst onto the scene a lot younger. And that's because the demand for players is increasing, because the amount of games is also increasing. So clubs are looking into their academies to find players who can fit the bill. Lamine Yamal 10 years ago would not have got the opportunity at Barcelona that he received 3 years ago. The other Barcelona youngsters, Mayolu at PSG, even Kobe Mainu at Manchester United, youngsters are being handed opportunities a lot younger because there is such a demand for fit players. So maybe 10 years ago, a talented youngster would have stayed in the youth academies, maybe gone out on loan, not really being able to break into the first team. I think we're going to be seeing more and more actually get that nod from managers. And as a result, we're going to see youngsters break into the first team a lot younger, but also, in my opinion, we're going to start seeing players peak a lot earlier than we have been. But that's another conversation for another day. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. The internet is losing its mind over this video of Desiree Doué where he is asked, who is better, you or Lamine Yamal? To which he replies, me. Now, of course, when I say internet, I am also talking about Barcelona fans who are not too happy with his response, as you can tell by the image behind me. And of course, Yamal's Nations League performance is making an appearance as well. To me, it looked like Doué was joking. Do you know when you're with your friends, you're with your mates, and they ask you a question, you get a little bit overconfident, and you say, yeah, of course, it's me, quite obviously me. It was given that sort of vibe, but nonetheless, people are going to jump on it because that's what the internet does. Now, if it wasn't 9 PM after a long shift, I'd probably be doing a quick analysis video between Doué and Yamal. But I think objectively, Yamal has been the more consistent, apologies, and better player out of the two. And while Lamine Yamal has been the better performer for his national team, Desiree Doué has achieved more at club level, in my opinion. I mean, the quadruple, man of the match in a Champions League final, 2 goals in a Champions League final at such a young age, it is absolutely unprecedented. He will go down as a legend of the competition for that. But then, of course, Lamine Yamal has given so many good performances in the Champions League, particularly the first game against Inter Milan, of course. But people can, of course, counter that and say, well, Desiree Doué faced the same team and actually won the Man of the Match award in the final for his performance, so each to their own. But whatever side of the fence you may or may not fall on, I do think that an interesting rivalry may be developing between these two, or fans are trying to push some sort of rivalry. As I said, I think it's far too early to be drawing any conclusions and placing a rivalry onto these two players. I think both have very good individual qualities, even though I think at this time Lamine Yamal is the more developed and better player out of the two. But I do think it will be interesting to see how both of their careers take shape in the future. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more.